Hi, I'm Brian Simpson from Boutique Financial Chartered Accountants here in New Zealand. And I'm often asked how to save money on accounting fees. People never like paying them, and we want to ensure that you get good value. The first thing for me is make sure you use Xero. Xero is great. I know it's easy to push OK on all those transactions, reconcile and done, that's great. But please make sure that you're taking the right time with those sort of transactions. So, I mean, if you're purchasing something from overseas, it's not going to have New Zealand GST, so make sure you change that. Also, make sure the bank account's actually balanced. So, if your online banking says $1,000, then make sure that that dashboard in Xero says that bank account has $1,000 in it. If it's anything different, then that's when you need to find out what's wrong. Good bookkeeping will make our job a lot easier and a lot quicker, and therefore it'll save you costs. Next thing I find people usually struggle with are having too many bank accounts. So I think personally, a trading account for the business, a tax savings account is always good, and a credit card for the business. You know, you always need to buy things online, pay for courses online. So that sort of thing is great. So 3, anytime you start getting into 10 or 15 accounts, we know there's going to be trouble. It's just too hard to keep track of the transfers between the accounts and all that sort of thing. So we'd say always keep it to a minimum. Transactions, you know, things like hire purchases and paying things off. So ACC is a classic. You know, they offer you that you can pay it off. That has charges on it. It has interest or admin fees built into it. So we need to separate that from the actual cost of your ACC. And the same with loans and hire purchases. So same thing, those sort of GEM visas, interest free. We can't get bank feeds going into Xero, so we have to process those things manually, and that adds costs. When it comes to paying IRD and filing returns, make sure you do them on time and pay the right amount. It is very difficult for us if there are interest charges, penalties that have to be journaled in. Anytime you're asking your accountant to do manual journals or manual calculations or adding things up, it takes extra time. So you don't want to be doing that, so just make sure top priority is paying the right amount on the right day so you don't get any penalties, and make sure those returns are filed. One of the last ones is probably, you don't have to have too many entities. There's purposes for certain entities, but you know, if you've got 5 different companies for 5 things which are almost identical, then really you're just wasting your own money. It's good to have different companies if there's a different purpose, but if you've got 5 companies, then it is like owning 5 cars. There's going to be 5 lots of costs for everything. So just rationalise what you can and what you want. So if it's got a purpose, that's great. If it doesn't, then maybe we should wind it up.